Thank you to Tokyo Treat and Sakura Co. for sponsoring this video. Alright, time to talk about him. Hello everyone, I'm Eternal Flame, and I'm here today to talk about Yuta Okkotsu, one of Jujutsu High's heavy hitters, and what his role is going to be in the story, what he is going to do against Sukuna, where is he right now, all of that good jazz in this video. Now, I do want to say this is not my original topic. I came up with this topic because of Outlaw Truth's video, which I'd really recommend going to check out after you're done watching mine, but this is just my thoughts for what Yuta's effect is going to be in this story and what he is going to end up doing. However, before we even get into this video, be sure to like and subscribe to like anime content like this, and let's get straight into the video, on topic of what I think Yuta is going to do in the final story. With characters like Kashimo, Hikari, Yuji, and even Higuruma arriving on the battlefield against Sukuna after the death of Satoru Gojo, it has left a lot of fans wondering, where is Yuta? Is Yuta just shaking in his boots right now out of fear, even though Gojo is dead, and Yuta was like, alright, I'm up next and I'm going to go down there and make sure Gojo's going to be okay. Is he shaking in boots right now? No. I think he's actually going to have a very, very crucial role to play in both this battle and Kenjaku's battle, and why he was referred to as the final insurance. But before I do go in depth with what Yuta's role is going to be, I need to go over what Yuta's curse technique is and how strong Yuta actually should be up to this point especially. As y'all know, Yuta's curse technique is copy. However, the current requirements for how Yuta can copy things are currently unknown, where he's able to use Rika as a storage device for his copied techniques that he has access to for a total of 5 minutes. Yuta is so powerful that Gojo was able to trust Yuta alone with taking care of the students and making sure everything would be okay. Yuta was able to fight in the free-for-all for Sendai, and it was a complete free-for-all, but he was still able to fight and ended up coming out on top thanks to his intelligence and his wits and his abilities, and he was still holding back to some people because he still had extra curse tools he could have used, as well as maybe extra potential curse techniques that we don't know about from his time training in Africa. Furthermore, he was so strong that Kenjaku directly thought that Yuta would be the one leaving the heavy hitters into battle against Sukuna. Stack that already strong potential, and that was Yuta from a month ago. Because Yuta has had a month long to train with incredibly strong sorcerers like Gojo, incredibly smart sorcerers like Kashimo, who has access to insane curse energy manipulation, as well as physically strong sorcerers like Yuji and Hikari and Maki. All this time to get better, as well as get access to several new techniques around him, with the only direct weakness to his curse technique being he can only utilize it for a total of 5 minutes. So yeah, Yuta is an incredibly strong sorcerer, who right now should especially be getting a massive rage amp because of the fact he just lost Gojo, and he should be feeling a lot of negative emotions and rage through that. It should be amplifying him even further because of negative emotions and their relationship with cursed energy, yada yada yada, all that jazz. But it also begs the question, why is he not directly on the battlefield, and why didn't he jump down with Yuji and Choso immediately? Well, I do actually think Yuta Okkotsu is currently on the battlefield and creating something in the back in order to be used as a final clutch and final weapon against Sukuna. And some of you guys might be curious about what this is. However, before we get into that theory, I do want to do a quick intermission in towards our sponsor, Tokyo Treat and Sakura Co. Tokyo Treat and Sakura Co. are a snack-based company that's located in Japan with the goal of being able to share how they snack in Japan with the world in order to share their culture through that. With Sakura Co. being more traditional snacks and how they snack traditionally at that time, in comparison to Tokyo Treat being much more modern era types of snacks. So we're going to start out with Tokyo Treats box, with their theme of this month being the Halloween Snack Haul, where you can celebrate Halloween with Tokyo Treats limited Halloween box that is filled with Halloween-inspired snacks, one such being the Kit Kat Sweet Potato, which I'm going to get into first. And man, they tasted incredible. The taste was amazing, decadent, it was quite good, and it's one I would recommend. It's an amazing thing to have to snack away at, especially with how many of them they give you. However, that's not all, because they also got something else that was really, really good, and like, I'm a Pokemon fan especially, so to see this was great, and that was the Pokemon Halloween Choco Pie, and it was really good to the point where I actually had to like stop recording to take a bite out of it, and then it was just chef's kiss, magnificent. And finally, there was the Koala March Halloween candy. And at first, I was actually a little bit confused on how to find this, but now we can actually get into their booklet, because they have this amazing booklet here to translate everything written in Japanese to English for you. After all, they are still a Japanese-based company, but with this booklet, you'll be able to understand not just everything about the candies themselves, but be able to understand what they're made of and get a little bit of a hint to it as well, and learn some more things about it. And through it, I was able to find this candy, and it just tasted amazing. I absolutely love to taste each and every moment of it, and that's just the first box. But the Tokyo Treat box can definitely fill you with how many amazing snacks there are, and now we're going to get into the Sakurako box. With the Sakurako box, particular theme being the Kyoto Crimson Leaves, with partneration with the Kyoto's prefectural government for a limited edition box design inspired by the beauty of Kyoto's autumn season, and it was a masterpiece. I absolutely love it. Like, I might just keep the box for my own other reasons after I'm done with all the snacks inside of it, because the box is just magnificent. But from the Sakurako box, there are two treats in particular I'd like to focus on, which is the Kyono Ame and the Sakurako Banana White Chocolate. And I really liked both of them. The Sakurako Banana White Chocolate was something that surprised me because I was not expecting it to taste decently well, but at the same time, I just always am semi-conscious about chocolate on fruit, as I explained in my last time, but it was great. And the Kyono Ame, which was also something I had to use the booklet in order to find, but the booklet also gives you a little bit of an insight into the history of Japan and the importance of the Kyoto's Crimson Leaves, and it was really nice to learn about. But I also got to try the Kyono Ame, which is a specific type of candy they make with several different flavors, which the particular flavor that I ended up getting was actually matcha, but they also have other flavors too, like plum, ginger, and mint, and it was just really good, and it's something I would recommend because this is a great gift, a great food to eat, something great to snack on, and you can learn even more about Japan's culture as well as be able to snack on it at your own pace as well. And each month they also give a tableware item as well, and this month's tableware item in particular was known as the brocade flower dish, and it looked incredible. Like, this is something that I would show on display in my house, and I loved it. And huge thanks of course to Sakurako and Tokyo Treat for sponsoring this video. Remember to use my link in the description in order to get a discount. It would help the channel a lot if you did it, and let's get back into the video. And you guys might be wondering now, what is that technique? What is a technique Yuta could possibly be charging in order to utilize against Sukuna, and what could be so effective that it would be better than him directly being on the battlefield and playing a support role to Yuji and Higuruma and direct damage role against Sukuna? That technique is Jacob's Ladder. That is what I currently think Yuta is charging in order to land a clutch move against Sukuna. Now, why do I think that this is probably a better thing to do than just Yuta directly being on the battlefield with Rika against Sukuna? Well, Yuta only has 5 minutes of power, and if he's just directly on the battlefield fighting against Sukuna with those 5 minutes and waste them, it might end up going extremely bad for him, especially because if Yuta dies on the battlefield, it might end up hurting their chances much more. They need to make sure that Yuta's power doesn't get wasted. And in my opinion, Yuta being directly there in the battlefield fighting against Sukuna for 5 minutes would be an absolute waste of their battle, especially considering Sukuna is still Sukuna. Like, it would end up with Yuta probably ending up dead, so him just directly being there to help assist in battle and like land hits directly there and putting him in the fray against Sukuna is not a good move, especially if Higuruma can't land a domain, which is what I think Higuruma's role is, going to be landing a domain and taking away Sukuna's curse technique and hopefully Sukuna's cursed energy in the process as well. However, if Yuta was in the background charging up a Jacob's Ladder, that would be shown to be extremely effective against someone like Sukuna, because Jacob's Ladder is extremely effective against evil people. So if he was able to make this literal 5-minute long ritual of just a massive Jacob's Ladder and make it launch down and hit Sukuna, probably only doing damage to Sukuna, maybe doing damage to Higuruma because of how many people he's killed, we really do not know, but definitely doing damage against Sukuna, and it's been shown to be effective, it would be extremely useful for weakening Sukuna and laying the opportunity for Yuji to hopefully get Megami's soul out after extreme damage has been done to Sukuna. After all, we saw how much damage Jacob's Ladder did alone after Hana used it with Angel's power, and I do think Hana is actually on par with Angel. I'm not going to lie, because I think Angel does amp her, and the two of them have a symbiotic bond with each other, like a near perfect bond, so I think they are on par with each other, like what a Heian era Angel would have been like, if not even stronger. I still think Yuta Okkotsu is stronger than Hana with the entire 5 minutes, with a rage buff, with a month of time pass, and the fact that he was supposed to be the one to lead Jujutsu Kaisen and their heavy hitters against Sukuna. This would be a much better use of Yuta's power. Rather than having him directly on the field, his role could be landing the final blow and opening up Sukuna so much and making him so damaged that Yuji can finally finish off his soul, because Yuji's the only one who can actually do direct damage to Sukuna's soul, especially if Sukuna ends up turning himself back into fingers again and freeing Megami in the process. That I could see being an extremely likely thing. And we do know Megami's soul is still in that body purely because, as we see, he's just doing the same thing that Yorozu did, and Sumiki's soul was was still present. It wasn't just him killing Sumiki's body when Sukuna was using control over his body. This could especially be useful if Yuta takes advantage of the fact that for 5 minutes his cursed energy constantly gets refueled. So if Yuta is just pumping constant amounts of his half of Sukuna cursed energy, because he has half of Sukuna's total cursed energy, repeatedly into his Jacob's Ladder attack while he's chanting and doing incantations in preparation to launch his attack down at Sukuna, it would do extreme amounts of damage towards Sukuna in the process, and it would open him up heavily for everyone else to take advantage of this moment and take advantage of this chance. Now, of course, there is a chance that Sukuna can sense them, but I think this is going to be Yuji and Higuruma and probably other characters, especially Choso's role, because like I don't see Choso letting Yuji fight Sukuna alone or even with Higuruma. Choso's definitely going to help, which is going to be stalling Sukuna in the process in order to make sure Yuta can land this huge attack as their insurance to make sure Sukuna dies, especially because Jacob's Ladder is super effective against evil people like Sukuna, and especially if they can take away his cursed energy, it's going to do extreme amounts of damage, because yes, he's at 20 fingers and at his true physical form, but without cursed energy, it will be much harder for Sukuna to defend himself from an attack like this. Now that is what I think Yuta's role is going to be in the direct battle against Sukuna. I still do think Yuta is going to have another role in this entire fight and in the series. I think Yuta is going to be crucial, or at least there, in order to help support in the battle against Kenjaku whenever that comes. Because, yeah, Kenjaku is still out there in the background doing brainy things. Yuta has been set up to fight Kenjaku for a while now, especially with his declaration that he would be the one to kill Kenjaku earlier on that happened in Sendai. You know, with Kenjaku taking Geto's body, the body that he is responsible for letting happen, because Yuta didn't properly finish off Geto to begin with, allowing this to come. Sure, yes, Gojo is also responsible, but Yuta was the one who directly killed Geto to begin with. So yes, I do think that this is likely to happen. A battle between Yuta and probably other characters against Kenjaku might be coming in the future, though I think Yuta is going to have to figure out some way to extend his time limit, because there is no way that 5 minutes won't have passed by the time this battle is done, and they're still going to have to move over to Kenjaku unless he has figured out some way to pass and bypass his 5-minute time limit completely. However, this is currently the best strategy that I can actually see them pulling off in order to take down Sukuna once and for all and take advantage of Yuta's copy ability. Because I'm going to say this now and I'll say this again, if Yuta did not copy Angel's technique, especially with Hana being unable to fight, I'm going to call Yuta an idiot, because that is like the biggest, most idiotic thing they can do, considering it's already been shown to be extremely effective against someone like Sukuna to begin with. So Yuta better have copied Angel's technique. And that is what I think they mean by him being the final insurance, because of how effective it would be on someone like Sukuna. However, that's just my thoughts on this entire theory, and I want to hear what you guys' thoughts are in the comment section below. I'm going to see y'all later. Peace.